Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus pilot, and welcome to a day in the life of a Swiss Airbus A220 pilot. Today we're flying the new synoptic A220 from Zürich to London Gatwick, back to Zürich, on to Oslo, and then back to Zürich. As always in this series, we are going to keep the attention and focus on a completely realistic operation, including anything that may come up as we fly along that may drag itself throughout the day. Now, I'd say we're gonna get right into this one on our first leg from Zurich to London Gatwick. So let's board our aircraft through the 1L door and then we can make our way into the flight deck of our beloved Airbus today. Now let's go ahead and open that one up, and here we go. Our first officer is already here waiting, and then we can just have a very quick look over here, make sure that all the emergency equipment is there, and this is all looking fantastic. So with that done, let's take a seat on the captain's seat of our A220. Let's go ahead and start her up, turning the batteries on. And then with the batteries on, we are initially just going to give it a little while until it is going to power itself up. But let's use that time to go down and attach a ground power unit and make sure that the 1L door is open. Then we can already go ahead and start requesting our catering services in order to get ourselves catered for the day. And then let's go ahead, start with a checklist. Power on checklist, please. So ECL is on DU number 2. Then hydraulic pumps, all 3 of them are coming on. And APU, or external power. External power is on. Alright, and that's the power on checklist completed. So let's go right into the pre-flight over here when the airplane has powered up. In the meantime, let's go down into the EFB, onto the My Flight screen, and import our flight plan from SimBrief. And over here we can start viewing our plan to check what we are going to be up to today. So, starting right down here on the significant weather chart, you can see we got a little bit of icing up to flight level 240 on our climb out of Zurich, and then the rest of the way over to Gatwick is absolutely fine. Looking into the airport weather, we are starting with our destination, showers in the vicinity, 22 degrees, and overall good weather conditions. Prop 30 tempo, light drizzle, broken 800, that's exactly what we are looking at right now. So, not fantastic, but flying conditions are absolutely fine. In Heathrow, which is our first alternate, the weather is good as well. Now, moving up to the top of our flight plan, we're leaving Zurich at 0400, so that's gonna be in 22 minutes. And then we are arriving in Gatwick half an hour before the schedule, which is fantastic. Flight level 380 is the planned cruise level, and then just going down into the fuel section. Do we need any extra fuel? No, don't really think so. So what do we have here? Takeoff 3,900 plus 122. Hey, let's call that 4.1 tons of fuel, and then we should be good to go. So for the load sheet, SimBrief import and fuel load 4,100, like this. And then let's just go ahead and press load aircraft down here. And that way, once our catering is done, we can start the boarding, and then we will be done straight away. Apart from that, let's go ahead and get our departure charts for Zurich. So search that please, APCs, AGCs, and then we can just go down for the SIDs. We're departing 28 on the Vebit departure as far as I remember. Let's have a very quick look. Yep, Vebit 1 Yankee, so let's find that one. And that's probably going to be an R5 departure out of runway 28, so probably this chart here. Let's see. Nope, not this chart here. Vebit 1 Yankee RMP set. Here it is. Perfect. That's what we are looking for. Alright, fantastic. So with that, our charts are prepared, and I tend to say we can already switch over to daylight mode here, as it's slowly getting brighter here. Alright, so logo light is coming on, and then our airplane has completely powered up. So let's get started with a couple of basics. First flight of the day, yes. So, ice detector tests, we'll assume that one complete, because in the version that I'm using here, in the preview version, that one is not modeled correctly yet. Circuit breakers checked, and that's checked, no breakers tripped. So, rudder trim, we can only do that after IRS alignment is complete. Oxygen masks are checked, airplane documents on board and checked, OEBs checked, emergency equipment checked, gear pins on board, overhead panel. So starting up here from the top, going down, and everything's set. Down here everything is good as well. On the third line everything except for the temperatures, let's turn those a little bit to the right, is good. And over here everything is good. Emergency lights going on, fasten modes on, no PEDs auto, and the exterior lights are set. Okay, with that the overhead panel is checked. Then we got the glare shield. Up here we can start with our QNH, and that is 1012 here in Zürich. And you're of course supposed to be in hectopascals, U2. Initial climb probably 5000, let's put that up. Transponder 2000, looks good. Then for the terrain map we will take traffic and terrain. Then we can go back onto the checklist over here. And on your side same thing, traffic, terrain, and the rest is all set up here. Okay, so the glare shield is checked. Now for the displays. Let's move down. For the overlay we are going to use traffic and terrain. And for the symbols, nearest, missed approach, range, and that is all good. And on this side, pretty much the same thing. You can have controlled airspaces as well, and I'm gonna give you the VSD because why not? Okay, apart from that, I do like my displays bright, so let's also turn the brightness up. Like that, and like that. Alright, and then we are done with the displays. ICAS and info, so that's all looking good. For the info, let's have a look. That's autoflight, flight direct default, that's okay. So that's checked. Then we are going to get back to the rudder trim later. In the meantime, altimeters, QNH 1012 set and cross-checked. Center panel is checked, pedestal. So down here there isn't really all that much for us to do. Let's get up the VHFs and the intercom. And the rest down here is set, and on this side you can listen to something as well. Like that, and with that our pedestal is checked. Finally, side sticks. So that's full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral. Okay, that's the side sticks checked, so we're just waiting for the rudder trim, which we can only do once the IRS alignment is completed. So that's looking good. In the meantime, our caterers have completed their job, so let's go ahead and start our boarding, please. So boarding is requested, and then we can go ahead and start with our FMS setup. So you can go into the FMS as well, please. And then we got a CS300 with a Pratt & Whitney engine, Navigraph database, and that thing is up to date at the time of the recording. So, for the IRS, it is aligning and pretty much completed now. Number 1 is completed, number 2 takes half a minute. Alright, that's looking good. With that, we also have the rudder trim, so let's just go ahead and test that real quick. Once that is completed, we no longer have to keep the checklist open. Alright, here we go. So, rudder trim is checked, and that's the pre-flight checklist complete. Lovely. Okay, so then, IRSs are all ticked, GNSSs are ticked, and VOR DME updating is on. Then let's go for the flight plan uplink and send our uplink request. And then we can head over into the secondary flight plan. And here it is, activate secondary, execute. Okay, so let's get that table out so that we can put the DFB on there and have the flight plan readily available. Okay, so our call sign is going to be Sierra Whiskey Romeo 5 Yankee Delta. We are supposed to leave at 0400. And for the departures, we are leaving Zurich's runway 28 on the Vivid 1 Yankee departure, done. And the arrivals are going to be Kunav 1 Golf arrival, like this, for an ILS approach runway 26 left. And then we just gotta check where that thing leads us to. So route, legs, timber. Alright, timber transition, and here we go. So our alternate is London Heathrow, and we'll be cruising in 5,000 feet to get there. And that's this. Average winds, let's see what we got. 338 at 28. Like this, and that's all I need for this. ISO deviation +5, so let's just enter that as well. Okay, winds and, well, first of all execute, then winds and temperatures, we can uplink those, thank you. Now for the fuel, zero fuel weight expected is 48028. Like that, CGs unknown at this time, block fuel 4100. Like that, taxi fuel 122, 5% reserves is looking good. Number of passengers is to be confirmed. Execute, and then for the performance, let's go ahead and start calculating a little. So, takeoff performance, Zurich 28, uplink the weather, temperatures, and QNH look good. Weights are looking good, packs on, calculate. That's a takeoff 1, 120, 126, 134. Okay, so takeoff 1, we can depart with climb 2, flaps 2, bleed source engines, wing anti-ice off, cowl anti-ice off, departure profile noise abatement, and they want 3,000 and 1,500. And that's it. Then let's get our takeoff speeds, and those are 20, 26, 34. So 120, 126, 134. Okay, so this is all looking good, and set V speeds. Then on the climb panel, transition altitude is 7,000 out of Zurich, 275 and 0.78. Now let's turn it into 275 and 0.74. Like this, and for the cruise, 0.78 is what they've planned, so that's all good. Alright, maximum and optimum 390 each, and then we can execute this. Finally, let's move on to the route page, and over here we can cross-check our SID. Let's go data, Zurich, Vivid 1 Yankee departure. And have a look at this. So we go straight at waypoint 540, 544, with the 1.2 DME arc in here. Then 546 looks good. Maximum 210 knots is also in there, and then we continue via Brego above 5,000, 554 above 6,000, 558 above 7,000, and towards Vivid, and that is all looking correct. Then let's go ahead and see, the SID is checked. Going down to the star then, QNAV, copy and paste. And then timber, copy and paste with the star restrictions. That's looking good. Execute. And then finally, let's go on to the legs page over here. I'm just getting the engine out set, runway 28, 1.5 DME, Kilo Lima Oscar, proceed on radial 270 until 15 DME, then a right turn to depot. Okay, so fix, we are gonna go with Kilo Lima Oscar. That's the first one. Distance 1.5. Like that. Then let's go for the next one. That is also going to be Kilo Lima Oscar. Like that. Radial 270. Okay. Then we go on to the third page, which is also Kilo Lima Oscar. Like that. And you get a distance of 15 DME. And then finally, let's go for depot. Like this, for the holding, done. Alright, and then we can copy that flight plan to the secondary, messages are all acknowledged, thank you. And finally, on the Via 2 page, let's cross-check our flight plan, where we got Vedit, Tango 10, Torpa, Romeo Lima Papa, Rotzi, Kotun, Ninal, Kesex and Kunaf for the arrival, and this is all looking good. Alright, flight plan's copied, everything looks good, then let's go back onto the performance page, and that's our flight plan completed. So far so good. On the map, this is what it looks like. So, 270 outbound till 15 DME and then enter the holding. Looks fantastic. Okay, so Toga is selected, Nav and VNAV are armed, and Runway heading something like 274 or so. Let's just set that, and here we are. Okay, ranges are looking good now, and that's our setup completed. So, let's go ahead and get the ATIS and the IFR clearance. So, AGC, ATIS departure 129.05. And here it is. Alright, let's take a listen. At least in theory we should take a listen. Say intentions once the 8 is on 125.73. Okay. Different frequency.
Wind 220 at 9er. Visibility 10 kilometers. Fuel at 7,500. Temperature 22, dew point 15. QNH 1012. Transition level 9 Blast fence damage reported. Maintenance team en route for assessment. Advise on initial contact. You have information Charlie. Zurich Airport. Information Charlie. 0950 Zulu. Arriving runways 14, 16. Departing runways 28, 16, 10. Wind 220 at 9er. Visibility 10 kilometers. Fuel at 7,500. Temperature 22, dew point 15. QNH 1012.
Okay, fantastic. So 8 is Charlie is on board. Delivery 121.903. Let's get our IFR clearance. Zurich delivery, good morning. Swiss 5 Delta, correction, 5 Yankee Delta. Information Charlie, request IFR clearance to London Gatwick. So he's hopefully gonna start working in a moment, and in the meantime, what is our boarding doing? 127 of 128 boarded.
5 Yankee Delta, cleared to Gatwick via the Vebit 1 Yankee departure, runway 28, initial climb 5,000, departure on 125.955, squawk 6246.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, cleared to Gatwick via the Vebit 1 Yankee departure, runway 28, climb 5000, departure 125.955, squawk 6246. Okay, Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, Zurich 28, Vebit 1 Yankee, 5000.
Delta, read back correct. Ground is on 121.905. Safe flight, sir.
121.905, Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, see ya. Okay, 121.905, and that thing is active. And then 5000, 125.955.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Swiss International Airlines and the entire
Like this.
I'd like to
And lastly, squawk 6246.
departing from Zurich to London Gatwick. We kindly ask you to take your seats according to your boarding passes and store and luggage. The overhead bins
Okay.
are the seats in front of you.
So that's all set, then we can Remove that from the scratch pad again, and with that we are ready for our departure briefing. Alright, so APU, start, and then let's go for the briefing. So, we're going to depart from Zürich on the Rabbit 1 Yankee departure, runway 28. Initial climb 5,000, MSA up to 12,000, depending on the sector you look at. In the departure sector, not as high, up to 7,000. Now, our extra fuel and time, let's see, is 1,000 kilos extra, which is roughly an hour flight time. Okay. So, thank you very much for that. We are going to depart from Zürich's runway 28. The way to get there is without any hotspots, and our stop margin for the RTO is more than enough. We've got an immediate return with an ILS approach to runway 14, and we have more than enough stop margin for that. We're below the maximum landing weight, so an immediate return is no problem anyway. Apart from that, we've got nothing special, nothing non-standard. It is an RMP sit, so if we lose RNAV capability, we are just going to ask for radar vectors, and that's all I got for today's departure. Any questions or suggestions? No? Okay, so we're done with this. Now let's see, the loading should pretty much be completed, so let's go ahead and prepare for pushback and departure, please. APU is already on, so we can disconnect the external power. Okay. So, let's have a look into the load sheet, where we got 128 passengers with 48,183. So 48,183, like that, and that's 128 passengers. And then we got a center of gravity at 27.8. So 27.8, and with that our numbers are unchanged, so we can keep our takeoff calculation, and then we're all good to go. Alright, so let's go ahead with the before start checklist, please. Departure briefing completed, APU or external power, we're on APU, and then holding at the beacon. So let's get this thing going. Ground equipment, remove GPU and remove chocks. Perfect. Zurich ground, good morning, Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, request pushback and startup.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, push and start approved, face west.
Push and start approved, face west, Swiss 5 Yankee Delta. Alright. So we're gonna close the cockpit door and ground from cockpit. So push and start approved, facing west, and we're standing by for your signal. So park and brake set, before start checklist complete. Okay, ground. Continue pushback, facing west, and we can release the brakes. Here we go. Weird how my FMS is reset every time that GSX is touching the airplane. But anyway, here we go, and we are going to start engines 2 and 1 in that sequence, and we'll commence engine 2 start now. Clear 2.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Engine 2 start.
welcome aboard Swiss Airlines Flight 100, departing Zurich to Gatwick. Our estimated flight time is approximately 75 minutes.
Gotta be honest, our purser sounds a little tired. Beautiful Zurich scenery from MK Studios.
Abgang
So it's just finished the motoring sequence here. Pushback completed. Reset parking brakes. Let's see if that works from the outside, but it seems it does. Okay, so we have a good start on engine 2, and we are starting engine 1. Clear one. So I think we can clear this for now. Alright, and number 2 is about ready. Alright, engine 1 start. Alright, tuck, tow bar.
Edelweiss 130 Juliet, push and start approved.
And the rest is slowly coming together.
Edelweiss 130
Engine start might take a little while, as always. A220. Okay, and there he goes. Then we're just waiting for the clear signal, which is slowly coming over here as well. Fantastic. In the meantime, while the engine is still starting, liebe Fluggäste, einen schönen guten Morgen auch aus dem Cockpit. Mein Name ist Emanuel, ich bin Ihr Kapitän auf unserem Airbus A220 auf diesem Flug nach London Gatwick. Wir starten gerade die Motoren, es wird noch eine kurze Weile dauern und dann machen wir uns auf den Weg über die Startbahn 28 in Richtung Westen und dann über Frankreich direkt nach London. Flugzeit 1 Stunde 15, erwarten einen ruhigen Flug in ca. 12.000 Meter Höhe. Vielen Dank, dass Sie unsere Gäste sind und genießen den Flug mit uns. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning from the flight deck. My name is Emanuel and I'm your captain on this Airbus A220 on our flight to London Gatwick. The flight time today is going to be approximately an hour and 15 minutes, expecting a smooth ride in 12,000 meters altitude. We'll get back to you with the latest weather when we start the approach, and for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us.
Taxi to holding point runway 16.
Okay, before taxi checklist.
Short of runway 10,
APU.
Edelweiss 130 Juliet.
Off. Anti-ice cowl auto, anti-ice wing auto, flaps. 2, flight controls. So that's full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudders, full left, full right, and neutral. And ICAS and info checked. Before taxi checklist complete. Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, request taxi.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, taxi to holding point runway 28 via November, Foxtrot, inner Alpha, Alpha 1.
Taxi to holding point runway 28 via November, Foxtrot, inner November, Alpha, Alpha 1, Swiss 5 Yankee Delta. Alright, so November, Foxtrot, inner Alpha, Alpha 1. Okay, then we're clear on the left side, and we're clear on the right side. Taxi light on, brakes off, let's go. So there is no brake check on the 220. And then let's first of all get clear of the apron over here. And once we clear the apron, then we can bother with the before takeoff checklist. It's a bit of a pity that Jeppesen, and we can only do this with the Jeppesen charts here, it's a bit of a pity that they sometimes do just omit a lot of information on the airport chart, because that makes it a little hard to use. That's the reason I used the Lido earlier. Okay, clear left and right, and then we are turning right onto the taxiway over here. Yep, that was not the best turn I've ever done. But again, it's early in the morning, so that justifies it. Alright, so we got just about 10 knots, then we are gonna turn next right, and then via the inner onto Alpha and Alpha 1, I think, huh? Yeah, Alpha 1. Okay, so here's the inner. Nice and slow. Not a super tight turn, but no reason to rush either. And here we are. I like this. It's early enough that most aircraft, at least most short-haul aircraft, are not on their way yet. Because all those Swiss aircraft here are probably waiting for the long hauls to land in order to distribute the passengers over their European network once the long hauls are there. So most of them are going to depart quite a bit later. Since we are flying to Gatwick, we are probably carrying mostly tourists. And those don't care, those just want to get there. Okay. Cool, so before takeoff checklist, please. That's APU, please. Auto, FMS set, trims. So we should have 3.3 units of trim. And that's now set. So trim set, flaps 2, anti-ice auto, auto brake RTO, ICAS and info. Checked, thrust. That looks good. Checked. Runway. Over here, 28, clear case.
118.1.
118.1, specify Yankee Delta, bye bye.
Edelweiss 130 Julie.
Okay, and cabin ready before takeoff checklist complete. Zürich Tower, good morning, Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, ready for departure.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, Zurich Airport Tower, runway 28, winds 220 at Niner, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 28, clear for takeoff, Swiss 5 Yankee Delta. Okay, cabin crew, prepare for departure. So, are you ready to go?
On runway 28.
Take off. Cross set. 80 knots, checked.
V1.
Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Alright, it's early in the day. Autopilot on. We can do manual flying when we are, you know, when we are a little bit more awake later on.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, contact Zurich, final departure on 125.955.
125.955, Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, bye now. Zurich departure, Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, 3,500, climbing 5,000.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, Zurich final departure identified, climb flight level 100.
Climb flight level 100, Swiss 5 Yankee Delta. Set, 100 checked. Alright, then we're reaching the acceleration altitude here, 4,400. And you can see FLC comes on. And we start accelerating. We'll have no problems meeting any of the altitude restrictions here, so no reason to be worried about them. This also looks pretty nice, doesn't it? Okay, flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. And flap 0. Speed checked. Flaps 0. So you can see the minimum speed going up there manually. Goes away once the amber band is clear of the minimum. But that's basically nothing to worry about for us. Okay, 7,000 is the transition altitude, so set standard. Standard cross-check, passing flight level 70 now. Checked. After takeoff checklist. ICAS checked. After takeoff checklist complete. I like it when an airplane is this easy. Approaching. Vertical speed. Let's slow the climb a little bit to avoid any nonsense TCAS RAs. There might be some wide bodies inbound, never know, even though it sounds like we are the only ones right now. Which I'm not going to complain about either. So what's the temperature? 6 degrees, about to enter some clouds. We might see the automatic anti-ice come active here. Anti-ice is fully automated in the plane, so that's nothing for us to worry about. 1,000 to go. Checked. Alright, looks like we are not getting further.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, climb flight level 180.
Climb flight level 180, Swiss 5 Yankee Delta. Set, 180 checked, level change. Okay, here is our further climb. Very good, then let's just have a look. ETA 0525. The schedule is 0600, so we're 35 minutes early. Fantastic.
New guests, we are pleased to
Okay, very good. Passing level 100. So, logo light off, taxi light off, and landing lights off. We're gonna keep the seatbelts on until we're out of the clouds over here, and then we can just do the wing anti-ice test now. Just have to do that on the first flight of the day. Wing anti-ice on. If it stays on without fault message for 3 minutes, then the test is good. So when we reach 9 minutes in the air. That's basically the moment we. That's basically the moment we've got that. Just to, you know, make it nice and easy for us. Alright, well. And that's what I got for the time being. I'd say sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. And then I see you all when we start the approach to London Gatwick later on.
Alright everyone, we are descending towards Gatwick and we have just been cleared down to flight level 70, which is now set, and then we can start to prepare for the ILS runway 26 left down in London Gatwick. So let's go ahead and start with a couple of basics over here, namely with the weather. So if we just update the weather over here, we'll see Gatwick shows us 240 at 9, 22 degrees and a QNH of 1005. Very nice and early as expected, only supposed to be on block in 49 minutes. So we are really early today. And yeah, then just one thing we gotta change over here, and that's the transition level. Since they cleared us down to flight level 70, I would normally have set with that QNH. Normally I would have set the with that QNH the transition level should have been flight level 75, but it's okay. We're gonna use 65 then. Apart from that, for the approach, all easy stuff. Now let's see what approach is gonna say to us.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta identified. Good morning, clear timber transition. Expect the ILS runway 26 left approach into Gatwick. And have you got information? Bravo.
Alright, ILS 26 left via timber. That's pretty much what we've been expecting. So, let's just see. There is an initial ILS approach here from timber, and that would basically be timber, Mayfield to 8.5 DME, and then left turn onto the final. But we do have radar control today, so I'm fairly sure we will receive vectors momentarily over here. Well, apart from that, we are prepared for a flaps 4 landing. All the standard stuff is set up with auto brakes medium, and then we're going to vacate the runway to the right hand side, and that's pretty much all we need. So we are at a low level again, so let's turn the wing anti-ice back auto, and yeah, that's That's pretty much all we need for the time being. So let's go ahead and do our approach briefing.
132.155C.
So this is going to be radar vector ILS approach runway 26 left, and we have no... well, we do have the standard arrival, but radar vectors ultimately. 3,000 feet keeps us safe all around, and the minimum is 400. The go around straight out, left turn, and that's to an altitude of, let me just see that real quick, to an altitude of 3,000, on a heading of 178 degrees from 2,000 feet onwards. Okay, and extra fuel and time, we're coming in with 350 kilos extra, so we got about half an hour extra. Alright. So, as you said earlier, it's going to be flight director guided, radar vector, ILS approach, 26 left, flaps 4, noise abatement.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, descend altitude 2,000 feet.
2,000 feet, Swiss 5 Yankee Delta.
Set, 2,000 check, set QNH. Oh, wrong button. No wonder that's not working. Okay, so 2,000 check, set QNH, 1005 cross check, passing 10,200 now.
Runway 26 left approach via Timber.
Interesting, they really want us to fly the standard ILS. Well, probably not going to do that. But, yeah, we'll see, we'll see. Okay, in any case, going through 10,000, so lights on,
Boat 17, London control
come
identified.
to prepare for landing. And that's it. Okay, so to finish the briefing, flight director guided ILS 26 left, IL reverse, flaps 4, auto brake medium, vacate the runway to the right hand side, and we got nothing special or non-standard, more than enough stop margin. We'll see where they're gonna park us. That's pretty much the only thing that I'm not so sure about Gatwick, as we haven't received any uplink. But let's see if our person knows something. $567. So APC 567 is up here. Okay. So we're parking at the north terminal. That's fine with me. Good. So that's our briefing completed. Do you have any questions or suggestions? No? Fantastic. Then let's get started with the approach checklist, please. So descent and approach checks. FMS set, minima 400 feet set, auto brake medium, ICAS checked, and arrival briefing complete. Descent and approach checklist complete. Okay. So we do have the 220 knot restriction over timber. I have a feeling that the plane is not really going to be able to make that. So hey, yeah, tell you what, I'm going to help it a little bit. Here we go, full speed brake. Just lose that speed. Could you please ask ATC for radar vectors for the approach? Let's see if our FO is able to do that.
I'll request radar vectors for the ILS approach to runway 26 left at Gatwick.
Sounds like it.
Approach, Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, good morning, descending from flight level 065 to 2000.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, descend altitude 2,000.
Alright, reaching 210. Spoiler's going back in.
Mechanics 3175, contact Langen radar.
But no, he did not ask for vectors. Interesting. Alright, well then we're gonna do it.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, request radar vectors for the approach.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, turn right heading 360, vectors for the ILS runway 26 left approach, speed 200 knots.
Right heading 360, vectors for the ILS runway 26 left approach, speed 200 knots, Swiss 5 Yankee Delta.
Tomjet 834, contact Dublin Centre on 120.75.
Okay. Heading, level change, speed 200. Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1.
London Control, Tomjet 834.
Nav source is set to the ILS. On both sides.
Tomjet 834, London Control identified.
London Control, Brunei 3, 9,000.
Brunei 3, London Control identified.
Alright, we are just about below the glide here, so let's go to vertical speed. And we'll aim to do a continuous descent approach. No vertical path, yeah, that's okay. Acknowledged,
Swiss 5
thank
Yankee
you.
Delta, turn right heading 025.
Okay, heading 025. And tell you what, let's do this ourselves.
Auto throttle.
So, all manual.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, turn left heading 300.
Left heading 300, Swiss 5 Yankee Delta.
Easy 64 X-ray Tango contact.
So, heading 300.
120.755.
And then we'll just fly ourselves onto a nice final here.
To Easy 64 X-ray Tango, so long. London Control, Easy 64 X-ray Tango 3000.
Easy 64 X-ray Tango, London Control identified. Proceed on course. Chanix 83 Juliet, hotel contact Langen radar on 127.725.
Alright, and here is heading 300. So we are receiving the ILS, we are 11 miles out.
Chanix
1,000 to go, check.
Langen radar on 127.625.
127.625 for Chanix 19 of Foxtrot Alpha.
We're not gonna level off here. It's not that easy to fly.
5 Yankee Delta, 5 miles from Foxtrot 26 Lima. Maintain heading 300. Descend 2000 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 26 left approach.
Maintain heading 300, descend 2000 until established on the
Okay,
localizer.
FMS speed.
Cleared for the ILS
2500.
We are cleared for the approach, that means we can also
Delta.
reduce our speed, and flaps 2.
2500. 2500.
Terrain noted. Alright, let's maintain 300 feet a minute rate of descent. Localizer alive. And localizer capture.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, contact Gatwick Tower on 124.23.
Contacting Gatwick Tower on 124.23. Swiss 5 Yankee Delta. Gatwick Tower, Swiss 5
So that
Yankee Delta.
localizer mode captured slightly late, so that we went through the center line. Last stop capture.
Tower, expect late landing clearance, runway 26 left.
3,000 feet set. You don't need the table any longer. Alright, gear down. Flaps 3. Speed checked. Flaps 3. Flaps 4. Speed checked. Flaps 4. Landing checklist. So, altimeters, QNH 1005 set checked. Flaps 4 indicating, cabin ready, B4 landing checklist complete. Okay, runway heading set. Okay. So, stabilized at the gate. Lovely. So normally we would only turn the landing lights on when the landing credits is received, but I'm gonna turn the taxi light on now. That's just because I don't want to be reaching around my flight deck anymore when we do get the landing clearance on the short final. Ooh, a little gust here.
5 Yankee Delta, after the departing easy A319, runway 26 left, winds 240 at 9er, clear to land.
What is he talking about after the departing easy? We're on a 1.5 mile final. He didn't just clear that easy.
400.
He did just clear that easy.
Papa Lima, contact departure, good day.
No comment on that.
Approaching minimums.
Ooh, look at what the speed is doing. Alright, go around, flaps 2.
200. 2 low flat. 2 low flat. 2 low flat.
Positive
2
climb.
low flat.
Gear up.
2 low gear. 2 low gear.
Shut up. Okay, nav. Oh, look at that. The entire nav mode disappeared. That's interesting. Alright, anyway, we climb straight out to 2000 and then left onto the heading. That's what the go-around said. And we can start the acceleration here. Okay. Autopilot, heading. Flaps 1. And then we can do the turn. Heading 178.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, it looks like you went around. Execute missed approach procedure. Contact departure on 126.825.
Executing missed approach. Contacting departure on 126.825. Swiss 5 Yankee Delta.
Okay, well, that was our first go-around in the 220. And I promise you, this one was not a planned one. Alright, let's get a manual speed here. Give me something like 230 while we prepare for the second approach. Here we go.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, departure, climb 4000, flight heading 180, expect vectors for sequencing.
Okay, heading vertical speed, 4000 blue. All checked. Okay. After takeoff checklist. Wow, that's not ticked off. Those should be sensed. Interesting. Okay. I'll reset.
5 Yankee Delta, speed 210 for spacing.
Speed 210 for spacing. Swiss 5 Yankee Delta.
Okay, speed 210. Okay, so after takeoff checklist. ICAS checked. After takeoff checklist complete.
2000 for 4000.
Okay, so let's prepare for a second approach. The weather is good, everything's good. I see absolutely no reason not to commit to landing at Gatwick and just come in for a second one. So,
Flight level 120,
got that lovely
easy
stuff down
86
here,
Whiskey.
and then let's just make sure we got it in the FMS as well.
Delta, turn left heading 075, vectors for the localizer, runway 26 left approach.
Left heading 075, vectors for the localizer, runway 26 left approach.
075.
5 Yankee Delta.
This was 5 Yankee Delta, request the ILS 0, correction. Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, request the ILS 26 left.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, traffic at your 12 o'clock, less than 1 mile. Same altitude, A319.
Oh, lovely, that's gotta be that guy.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta.
But at least it makes sense that we got a speed restriction then.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, ILS 0 correction is not a standard phraseology. Please clarify your
No, just take the second one, my friend.
Yankee Delta, cleared for the ILS, runway 26 left approach.
No, not cleared.
For the ILS, runway
Okay, I think we confused it.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta.
So, the ILS is programmed again. Then, Center fix 26 left, direct to inbound course 257. Alright, done and execute. And with that, our FMS is sequenced for the second approach. Okay, so, to have a quick look, landing in Gatwick, we still have 20 kilos above the minimum required, so we could still divert to Heathrow if needed. But, as mentioned, we're just going to commit to landing over here, and that's it. Now, for the performance approach, basically everything is still down here, just like it should be. Takeoff speeds, or rather landing speeds, are set. And that's pretty much all I got. Alright, cool. So, just a very quick rebriefing. We're going to do the same thing that we did earlier on the approach, except that we're not going to go around this time. And the missed approach, since we now know that this was not working out of the FMS, the missed approach is going to be straight at 2,000 feet and then a left-hand turn joining the track 178, climbing to 3,000. Alright, and if we should have to do a go-around for a second time, then we are gonna declare minimum fuel and come back for an approach straight away. Do you have any questions on that? Okay, then I'm gonna be with the passengers here. Liebe Fluggäste, wie Sie gemerkt haben, mussten wir leider durchstarten. Es lag daran, dass ein anderes Flugzeug die Bahn noch nicht verlassen hatte, als wir den Anflug begonnen haben. Wir werden jetzt nichtsdestotrotz eine kleine Runde einmal um den Platz fliegen und sind dann in 5 Minuten auch gelandet. Vielen Dank für Ihr Verständnis. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck captain, as you've noticed, we had to execute a go-around. That's because another aircraft hadn't not vacated the runway yet, and we are now flying around the field, coming back for another approach. Thank you for your understanding, and we'll be on the ground in 5 minutes.
Whisker 5723 2000 for 4000.
Okay.
5723, London Control, radar contact. Climb and maintain flight level 110.
So with that, everyone is briefed. The cabin crew knows what happened as well. That's really all we need. So second approach, land, and that's it. Pretty much a non-event. And the good thing is that we might even still make it on time to the gate. Like, that's probably the best thing of them all. Alright, so that gentleman is turning inbound, or rather is on the final and the beamers, so we could basically get a base vector anytime. Let's see what ATC has in mind for us though.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, no speed restrictions, resume normal speed.
Roger.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta.
For a moment I hoped this would have been the base turn, but nope. Alright, come on. You can turn this base any moment.
5 Yankee Delta, fly heading 340.
2000, flight level 120, easy for way.
Alright, here we go, heading 340. That is the base turn. Ooh, what's the camera doing? So, we're now 17 miles out. Not the very best, but it's okay. But looking at the fuel, yeah, now we are committed to landing at Gatwick. So, was a little bit optimistic here, thinking that we would arrive with more than final reserves. But that's okay. Weather is fantastic, so I'm not worried about committing here. Just gonna make sure that ATC is happy and not sending someone onto the runway again. Alright, that's always the best start into a day, isn't it? A go around on the first flight.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, fly heading 290.
Okay, heading 290. And that seems to be a nice vector onto the final there. Alright, so that is looking pretty good now. So, we do not have any speed restriction, but 210 is fairly good. Approaching the glide slope. Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, are we cleared for the ILS?
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, you'll expect the ILS runway 26 left approach.
Yeah, okay. And we're cleared for it. Thank you.
Expect the ILS runway 26 left approach, Swiss 5 Yankee Delta.
Alright, let's see if we intercept the glide slope right away, or if we have to intercept from above. Might just about work out here. And then let's start slowing down. Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. Okay, localizer capture, glide slope capture, go around altitude set. Flaps 2. Speed check, flaps 2. And FMS speed. Interesting how it went through the localizer again. Now, funnily enough, this is something that the 220 pilot that I talked to yesterday told me as well, especially when the airplane was new on the market. He said that they would often rather fly an LPV approach than an ILS, because if you're in more than 8 miles away, the plane would be a little strange on the approaches, and that's pretty much what we're seeing here as well. That's interesting.
Delta, good morning on the ILS runway 26 left approach.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, Gatwick Tower, expect late landing clearance, runway 26 left.
Again? Oh well, doesn't matter. Manual flight. And manual thrust.
Auto throttle.
Okay, so this time is gonna be better than last time. And I'm talking to you, ATC. I mean, we're in London. They do clear people for lineup and takeoff when you're like 3.5 miles out. But that's about as tight as it gets. Any tighter than that, and it's not really working. I mean, I've seen it work at 2 miles. But luckily I was the departure, not the arriving aircraft, so for me it was just like, okay, let's just go. We'll do a rolling takeoff. But from the approaching aircraft's perspective, I mean, you are allowed to clear aircraft to land when the preceding one is more than 2,400 meters down the runway. And that's what they... That's what they occasionally do in the UK. It's just pretty tight all the time.
Tango Golf, winds 210 at 6, runway 26 left, cleared for takeoff.
Okay, 6 miles out, he's clearing someone for takeoff, that's okay. So, gear down, flaps 3. Flaps 4. Speed check, flaps 4. Landing checklist. So, altimeters.
5 Yankee Delta, after the departing Chewy Air at 901, 52 and 903, 737, runway 26 left, winds 250 at 12, clear to land.
Alright, we are clear to land.
Clear to land after the departing Chewy Air 737, 25 Yankee Delta.
So, before landing checklist, altimeters, QNH 1005, flaps 4 indicating, cabin ready, before landing checklist complete. Okay, we are clear to land. There is one guy at the holding point, but he is hopefully not going to line up this time. And with that, all good for us. Ooh. Little speed drop here.
Approaching 26 left.
Checked. Checked. So I don't want to use too much thrust to get our speed back up. Otherwise it could run away again like it did on the last approach. Even though I still believe that there was weather involved in that. Alright, the easy at the holding point is waiting. And here's another speed drop.
Approaching minimums.
Checked.
200.
Yeah, look at that. There is a little gust when you're coming over the airport.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Spoilers, reverse green. 100 knots. 80 knots. Manual brakes. Okay, and with that, welcome to Gatwick. Well, that was an interesting one. The weather on that final was definitely interesting.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, contact ground on 121.805.
Contacting ground on 121.805, Swiss 5 Yankee Delta. Gatwick ground, Swiss 5 Yankee Delta. Good morning, cleared of runway, ready to taxi to the gate.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, Gatwick ground, taxi to gate 567 via Foxtrot Romeo, hold short of runway 08 left.
Approaching runways.
Yeah, no, hold short of 8 left is not what we're gonna do. Looks like Say Intentions isn't too aware that this thing is a taxiway. Even though it's still called a runway, so technically speaking Say Intentions is right.
Romeo, hold short of 08 left, Swiss 5 Yankee Delta.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to London.
On runway 0. 8 left. 1,500 meters remaining.
Alright, after landings. So, after landing checklist complete. Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, request taxi to the gate.
Swiss 5 Yankee Delta, taxi to gate 567 via Tango, Juliet, Sierra, Lima, Quebec Alpha. Good day.
Gate 567 via Tango, Juliet, Sierra, Lima, Quebec Alpha. Swiss 5 Yankee Delta.
Alright, so Tango, Juliet, Quebec Alpha. Wasn't there a Sierra involved? Yeah, there is a Sierra involved. Okay, they want us to go like this. Nah. That does not sound like what you would typically get in Gatwick, so I'm gonna go slightly differently.
Griffin 5 Bravo Papa ready to push. Griffin 5 Bravo Papa push and start at your discretion. Cleared push and start. Griffin 5 Bravo Papa.
Alright, so next left, or rather second next left, then we're just gonna go via Quebec. I'm just taking that little shortcut there. So Quebec is over here. That sounds like a good exit, doesn't it?
Easy 87 Alpha X-ray ready to push. Easy 87 Alpha X-ray push and start at your discretion. Cleared push and start. Easy 87 Alpha X-ray.
Okay, so 567, let's see if that's already been selected for us. No, of course not. So 567, here it is. And handling by Bahrain Airport? Why? How? What are they selected now? Why did that thing just close? Okay, I don't care. I don't care. Learned the lesson with GSX. We'll just taxi to the gate. Alright, so Lima is next right, and then Quebec Alpha the second left.
Easy 34 Yankee Tango, push and start at your discretion.
Shut down left engine.
Easy 34 Yankee Tango. Griffin 5 Bravo Papa, taxi to holding point runway 26 left via uniform Juliet Papa Alpha November Mike.
Alright, here's Quebec Alpha.
Taxi to holding point runway 26 left via uniform Juliet Papa Alpha November Mike.
We'll go left here, then start the APU, please. Okay, so 567, I think that's probably somewhere near the 2E. Nice and slow on the apron over here. And then it's just a matter of taxiing up there. Let's see. Yeah, behind the taxiway even. So somewhere abeam the easy over there. That should be it.
Easy 87 Alpha X-ray ready to taxi. Easy 87 Alpha X-ray, taxi to holding point runway 26 left via Kilo November Alpha November Mike.
By the way, just notice I'm not doing any control inputs. Accelerating
in single engine taxi, and that's working pretty well. And just while we're at it, beautiful lighting, huh?
Quebec, pushback approved.
Alright, so lights off.
Pushback approved, Griffin 5, Quebec.
566, here's 567.
Yankee Tango ready to taxi.
Why doesn't want me to go further left? I think we are actually quite fine here where we are. I'm gonna stay here.
Taxi to holding point, runway 26 left via Lima, November, Alpha November.
That is not too far, GSX. But hey, not worth even arguing with it. Alright, so APU on and shutdown.
Easy 37 November, uniform, push approved.
So then let's just deselect ATC here. Alright, and with that, welcome to London Gatwick. Hope you enjoyed that one. With a little bit less fuel than hoped, but we do know the reason why, so that's fine. And then let's go for the checklist, please. So, shutdown checklist, no steering, off, APU on, slides disarmed, and here we go. Okay, flight control test required? Nope, that is not the case, and that's the shutdown checklist complete. So, with that, let's go ahead and get our deboarding, please. Like this. And guys, that's what I can offer you for today. Hope you enjoyed the flight with me. Leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. Let me know how you like this one. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And then I'm really looking forward to see you all again on the next one. By the way, talk about GSX telling me that I would have stopped too far in the back. I think we can easily agree that that is not the case. Well, thank you very much for watching, and then I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.